Hi, JamesAnimalHarrison. Welcome to Tuesday Tips. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about some muffling that I use, and I had a lot of questions about this snare drum. This is one I just have set up for practicing right now. It's actually a birch Jinbow, Jinboa, I believe, and it's I picked it up at the NAMM show several years ago. Jinbow was very close to Vader on the floor in the NAMM show. And I've done a couple of videos on some muffling, so I thought I would go ahead and just do this really quick. And this is just something, right now I'm using some orange duct tape. Typically I use black gaffer tape. I actually don't have any of that right now, and obviously I don't know about everybody where you are, but it's pretty hard to go out and get that. I might have to just order some online. But what I do want to talk about is some of the muffling methods that I use that are easy, quick fixes. I usually throw them away at the end of the gig or whatnot, or the session, or whatever it may be. So this snare right now, it's a 6.5 by 14. There's an ambassador on the bottom, and then there's a X14 on the top, and the snare is X14 is a single ply 14 mil by Remo. It's coated, so there's no muffling. Here we go. I'm going to put my foot on the hi-hat so that it doesn't ring. Now I'm going to play some rim shot oriented things. Okay, so there's a ring. So one of the methods that I use a lot in teaching, and I use it with students a lot, is when we were all growing up, we would put posters on the wall, oftentimes, of our sports heroes or rock heroes or whatever. And so I take some duct tape, gaffer tape, and I make a loop like you would if you're putting on the back of a poster. And I'm going to put that over here as if it's like 9 o'clock on a clock. And I'm just going to do one, and I've got it maybe a half inch or so from the rim. I'll take it away. Put it back on. So it does make a difference. With this method, I often use two pieces, and I do one opposite, so I'll go roughly at 3 o'clock and do the same thing. Definite difference. So that dries it up enough that you could do a gig. If you want a little drier, you move them a little bit more inward. I'll do that really quick. So now they're about maybe an inch or so away from the rim, maybe a little bit more. And as usual, because I'm shooting a video, Murphy's going to come stick his head in the video. I think he thinks that when I sit down here, because he comes over and I pet him, that this means he's going to get petted if he sits at the drum set. So another very common method that I've seen studio drummers use a lot is to take a little piece of tape, and I call it ridges, some people call it waves. I don't know what that is, but I basically take a piece of tape and fold it to where it sticks to itself, and then leave it up that I can do it. Now I'm going to put this right over top of the logo on the drum. And that dries it up quite a bit. And that's just what I call a single wave. I use this one a lot, especially on toms if I'm in certain rooms with a lot of hard surfaces. Another one you can do is, this is the same idea, but it's a much taller fold or taller wave, if you want to call it that. I'll put it on the drum. Now I'm about an inch or so, inch and a half even from the edge. So once again, you can see that takes away quite a bit of the ringing. Again, just this ridge is about from my fingertip to my first knuckle. That's about how tall it is. So I call that ridges. Again, some people call it waves. Another one you can do is a double wave. I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to put it right over the crown on the Remo head. So this is basically almost like the equivalent of setting your finger on the drum. Okay, and again, like the others, move it more toward the center if you want less ring. And the last one I'm going to do really quick is the wave again, but it's a very large one. It's the width of a normal piece of duct tape, and you can see almost to my knuckle. So it's a pretty good sized piece of tape. I'm not going to put that one down as much. It's going to be maybe a tip of a drumstick or a fingernail or something like that, and possibly a ½ inch away from the edge of the rim. Okay, so you can see that takes away quite a bit of the ring. And this works really well on the toms. Actually, I've done it on jazz gigs on bass drums where sometimes things were just too boingy or whatever. And again, this has nothing to do with tuning. This has to do with overtone control based on the room. You can have great sounding drums that are tuned very well, and you go to certain locations and they're going to ring. This particular room, I've got stucco behind me, I've got cedar walls, I've got concrete floor. And actually, to be honest with you, there's a beam right in front of the bass drum right now. So there's a little bit of echo coming back from that. But these are simple muffling tips based on, you can use duct tape. If you do it, I recommend tossing it at the end of every gig, because it just tends to gum up and get tacky really quick and whatnot. I never ever recommend taping any kind of stick with that kind of stuff. I prefer gaffer tape. If you don't know what it is, you can Google it. But it's a pretty well known in the industry. It's an industry standard. And even though there's muffling rings and gels and clips and all kinds of mufflers out there, you're going to find that most of your studio drummers, just to get the proper sound that they may need, are going to go to tape. So, and that's not discounting any other gels and stuff I've talked about. This practice kit actually has some gels on it most of the time. But a very quick fix is tape, and it can change it based on the gig. So there you go. Again, just quickly, the loops. One loop. Two loops. So you can see it makes a difference. Again, it's like a loop like you'd put on the back of a poster or something. The single ridge, single wave, single ridge, whatever you want to call it. Again, a single ridge with a taller ridge. A double ridge, if you can see that. But you can hear it, it's definitely making it, I mean, hopefully you can hear it. I can hear it really well. And of course, what I call the big ridge, the big wave, it's the full width of a piece of duct tape, and it is, does quite well. With nothing. So you can see how much of a difference that muffling can make. So give it a try. Again, I'm just using duct tape here, but I prefer gaffer. I just don't have any with me right now. So give it a try. Thanks.